candid conversations with wedding professionals as they share their stories, insights, and tips from inside the wedding industry. We'll chat about how to be authentic and that it's okay not to be perfect or run your business like someone else's Instagram. Let's dive into the privilege it is to serve our clients and discover the talented creatives that make up our community. When we share what we know and who we are, we better serve our couples as a wedding day team, as well as each other. Simply put, Be Fabbo. Now here's your host, Bobbi Brinkman.
Hey, Be Fabbo Podcast listeners, welcome back to the podcast. How is everybody doing in the middle of November? Hands in air, we survived. Everything's moving forward. Holiday feelings in the air. All the coffee that we've been drinking all night as photographers, staying up late night editing, all the planning all the holiday parties. Everybody in the industry is swamped this time of year, and I think we're all blessed to be busy, but we also need to breathe a little bit and take in some time. So that's what we wanted to do on this short break of the Be Fabbo Podcast. I want to thank everybody for hanging with us and listening to small episodes, but I just really felt that I want everybody to be able to focus on their careers and on their couples. And as much as I love sharing everybody's stories, I wanted to give everybody a little bit of grace and not make people feel, oh my gosh, I have an interview with Bobbi. I've got to add something to my plate. So, I feel we're past the bulk of it. A lot of everybody's got their deadlines, but most of the busy work, the out front work is happening. Now it's just wrapping up things behind the scenes. And I know a lot of us have weddings that go all the way through the year across the markets, but I think it's safe to come back and start sharing some stories and some education. So I'm very glad to be back for this Wedding Wednesday. Like I said, it's the middle of November, and hopefully everybody is playing some holiday music, and pumpkin spices are now turned into, peppermint mocha lattes. Anything you guys do is traditions. That might be a fun episode coming up to do. Just what do wedding pros do? Traditions to take a break. But this is episode 36, and episode 36 is bringing some changes. I'm very happy to bring some changes. During this break, I've been working really hard behind the scenes for everybody. But episode 36 on the Be Fabbo Podcast, moving forward, we have a brand new sponsor, everybody, and that sponsor is Perfect Wedding Guide. I'm really thrilled to be partnering up with them. I'm really glad that they're going to be sponsoring the Be Fabbo Podcast going forward. They believe in bringing, engaged couples to fellow business pros as much as I do, and I'm happy to have them on board sponsoring the Be Fabbo Podcast. You can hear more about our sponsor, Perfect Wedding Guide, in episode 33. So do that. Go back and listen to that and hear a little bit about them. You're going to hear a lot more about them in the future. There's some exciting things I'm excited for in 2020, working with them moving forward. But I'm really glad to have them as a sponsor here at the Be Fabbo Podcast. So go take a listen to that episode 33. So today's episode 36, we're going to talk about getting ready for engagement season, proposal season. Those of us in the industry call it booking season. Those of you that are getting ready to get rings call it proposal season. Either way, somebody got a ring. And as wedding pros, we are here to serve you, and we welcome you. So I just wanted to take a few moments of your time today. A lot of you guys know this, but 40%, almost 40% of all the engagements will happen between Turkey Day and Valentine's Day, with the majority of them happening in that month of December. Some of those ladies and gentlemen ask their significant others to get married on a holiday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Then others just pop in the middle of the month during a special outing. And so December really is the big month, and then, of course, we get back to Valentine's Day. But so are you ready? I mean, have you sat back during this busy season and you've worked really hard in 2019 and you've made a lot of changes? So now what can we do to get ready for 2020? And most of us that will be booking in 2020 are going to be booking 2021. So a lot of the engaged couples and the inquiries that are going to be coming in are going to be a lot of 2021 couples getting married, especially spring 2020 couples. So many of us already have our 2020 calendars filled with weddings, whether you're a planner or a florist, DJ, whatever area you're in the industry, you already have 2020 weddings booked. So now you want to be concentrating on getting those 2020s couples into your team, into your family. And you also might have some spaces that you can fill in 2020. So are you ready for that? And how can you get ready for that? The number one thing that I want everybody to kind of do on this is to sit back before you go crazy, and take a day, maybe mark off, 3 or 4 hours of an afternoon, sit with a cup of coffee, go to a coffee shop, put some headphones on, or just find a quiet space wherever it is that you work. And I want you to sit down, and I want you to take a hard look at 2019. And I want you to see, did you meet your booking goals? Did you put enough money in the bank to call yourself successful? And again, you guys hear me say this all the time. Whatever your definition of success is, whether it's a 6-figure income, it's a 2-figure income, whether it's just having enough money to help support your family and to pay electric bills. That success is your own definition, and I support all of it. But let's take a hard look at 2019. Did you accomplish the number of weddings that you wanted to book? Were you thrilled with where you booked? And did you book at the rate that you wanted to book at financially? If so, and you didn't get a lot of pushback, this is the time to adjust those pricings for 2020 fill-in spots and moving forward for 2021. I think a lot of us forget that we're booking right now for things that are happening in 2021, and sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years. In my career as a wedding photographer, I've been blessed to book about 18 months to 24 months out. That's how it's been for me since I started my business. 2020, by the way, will mark my 40th year in this industry, so I'll have more on that later. But so for all these years, I've always been at that 18 mark to 24 months. I do my share of last minute fill-ins, and I love those. But for the most part, most of us are booking that far in advance. And I want to remind everybody, today, booking a wedding at $3,500 is great. It helps our financial side, helps us pay our electric bills, helps us pay our studio rent, our overhead, cost of doing business. But in 2021, how more advanced, how more expensive is it going to be to live and to do business? So we have to raise our prices a little bit just to cover doing our business and for supporting us, helping our family financially. So if you have a great year in 2019 and you booked at the rate, now again, no matter what area in the industry that you're in, if you've booked without a lot of pushback, it's the time. And this is the month to do that. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and charge $1,000, $2,000 more, but I'm telling you to at least take a look, again, depending on where you are, but photographers and DJs, and I think, florists, for the most part, you guys have a cost that goes into figuring out what you have to charge. But for the most part, I think we can probably see that we can maybe get anywhere from $100 to $300 more. I suggest to photographers all the time, start at that $300 price point. Take a look at what $500 looks like. I mean, you can always negotiate, for lack of a better word. That's what couples do with us. But at least give yourself credit, acknowledge the value that you bring, and start raising your prices. And do this now. Raise your prices. You can always have a conversation with the couple, and if it falls a little bit into their budget, you might have to, wiggle a few numbers or sharpen your pencil, but give yourself the credit that you had a wonderful 2019, and now you're deserving to get rewarded for that. And again, in 2021, gas is going to cost more. Electricity is going to cost more. Your rent where you have your business may go up. Your mortgage, it may fluctuate. You need to take care of yourself, so don't forget to plan that now. And if 2019 didn't meet your expectations, if you fell a little bit short financially, I'm not going to say or suggest to lower your prices. Let's just find a better creative way to maybe show a little bit more value so that you can, be, more acceptable to more couples. And we can do that in a little bit, either episodes. We'll talk a little bit about that moving into 2020. But for now, sit back, find that quiet time, take a look at where you were in 2019, decide where you want to finish up 2020, the number of weddings you want to do. Maybe you can take 3 more. Maybe you can take 10 more. Don't forget those little surprises that you might just be that bonus where somebody calls you on a Thursday asking for a Saturday and you're available. And then plan accordingly to help you be financially sound for 2021. So that's one of the first things that I want you to do. And then realistically, your goals and you know where you want to meet. And I've always enjoyed, I set up 15 weddings for myself. So when I accomplish my 15 weddings, everything else is, and I hate to use the word gravy, but I'm thrilled that I set up realistic goals for myself. And I want to set up goals that help me succeed, because the more I succeed, the more I can help other vendors succeed, and the more I can help my couple succeed. So I'm realistic in the goals. So set yourself some realistic goals. And, think about all the things that you can get done on the biz side. Do that now. Do the part that we don't like. We're all tired and we're all, anxious for the holidays. But if we do this part now, set up our pricing, look at our schedules, see how many weddings we want. We can do that now while it's a little bit slower and not have to deal with that, and then hit the proposal season that's going to kick off here in a couple weeks, and know that we have set ourselves up to be financially successful, to help make an impact to our family, to help give back to our community, and, to just be of service. And then we can start concentrating on the creative side, having those conversations with the couples, all the fun part that we like to do. So as you're planning your schedule for rest of 2020, and especially for 2021, do not forget to mark off schedules booked for yourself. I can't stress this enough, everybody. As I mentioned, going into my 40th year in 2020, I've always marked off certain weekends that I know something's coming up for my family, or there's a place that I want to go, there's a concert we want to see, or there's an event happening. I've always marked off whatever time I need for that weekend. If it's a travel, I need to go on Wednesday, come back on Monday, but I mark that off. I mark off my vacations. I take off the month of July here. It's something I've been doing for many, many years. And I can tell you that it's only made me busier. People seem to want to talk to me in June to talk about their fall weddings. And then when I still have money coming in the way I set up my structure, so that there's money coming in July, and I can be off doing family things, taking a little bit of a break, and just sometimes just taking photos of my own family and documenting that side of life. Because we all get so busy telling everybody else's story, we must remember to take time to tell our own and to live our life and to live our story. So as you look at this portion of the number one thing to get ready, set your goals up for how many weddings you want. Make sure your pricing is updated and fresh and structured and pays you back for all the hard work that you've been doing. Value yourself financially and value yourself while marking the schedule off. Again, mark yourself off booked and really, really, really try to hold to that. Now, the second thing we want to do is where are your couples at? Are you a destination wedding photographer? Are you in a market that is mostly destination? Are you in an area that is a shorter booking season? You might be in the middle of Chicago and venues book up really, really fast. So people all come and call and book these venues quickly. One of the things that I've been out speaking this year, one of the things that's been constant is people are telling me whether I'm in Chicago or in St. Louis or I'm in Kansas City, wherever I am, even in the southern destinations, Florida, people are having shorter engagements. So people are getting called in that 3 and 6 month time, and lots of times the venues are already booked. But they're still wanting to get married, so people are putting a little bit less priority on their venue and wanting to find other things that will help them find a wedding date that they want to get to. So when you're setting these goals and these things for 2020, I want you to remember where your couple's at. Go hang out at those places. It's a little cliche, but follow those hashtags. If you want to be working in Chicago, make sure you're following Chicago weddings, Chicago engagements, venues that you want to work at. Make sure you're following these venues. Bridal shops. Every time you see somebody get a yes to the dress, congratulate them. Go ahead and make that comment. Social media allows that, and you just never know if that couple says, "Oh, I've never seen that person's work. Let me click on their, Instagram profile." You might just be able to book a client just because you were sincerely acknowledging them. So find out where your couples hang out. And the other thing I want you to do is you've got to get off the couch. Right now we're all glued to the couch because we're all busy because we want to get all our deadlines met. But this is also the time of the year to call up. If there's a planner that you've really, really wanted to work with and be on the wedding day team with, a simple email, a simple message. But I always try email. If you have their phone number and you can text them, that's great too. But look at their profiles and you can see if they're busy and what they're doing. Send a simple email and it says, "Hey, how you doing? I'd love to grab a peppermint mocha. I'd love to treat you to a chocolate latte. Let's grab a chocolate muffin. Let's just take 30 minutes and let's chat. I'd love to introduce myself to you again and see how we can help each other, grow together in 2020. What can I do for you? How can I benefit your company? And what is it that I need to do that would make your couples, that you like to work with, more attractive to me and wanting to hire my services? Get off the couch and attend networking. Get off the couch. And even if you just have to grab 4 or 5 photographers, or if you're a planner, you do your Tuesdays together, do your Wednesday work groups, whatever it is, get off the couch and do not be afraid. Please stop being afraid of this word competition. I know we use the word community over competition a lot, but I really do feel that there is enough work for everybody, and I say this all the time, but I can't recommend another photographer just based on what I see on their Instagram or their website. I really need to get to know the person. So if I take a group of photographers out and we just brainstorm and have lunch, and yeah, quite often we vent about things that go wrong. And guys, this is not a perfect industry. And every one of us has that client that is now a contract clause in our contract, the Susie clause. We all get those. We all don't have perfect weddings. So we have to vent once in a while. But for the most part, the privilege and the honor that we have of being in this industry and serving our couples, the trade-off is far greater than the few bumps that we get along the way. So when you take a group of people out and you talk, you can vent, but you can also get to know them a little bit, so that I'm confident when a couple calls me and I'm booked for the day that I can graciously say, hey, I know that Susie Smith is a wonderful photographer, but I've had the chance to have coffee with her, and I've sat down with her on several occasions, and I really like her personality, and I think she's a wonderful person. I cannot attest to what she's like on a wedding day working together, but her reputation is still there. You can see that on social media now. You can read reviews just like a couple does. But get out and meet people. Get out and be part of the community, even if it's just for a 30-minute coffee or a 5-minute conversation. Grab donuts and take pizza to a planner's office. Take pizza to a florist's office and just sit down and break bread with them, so to speak, and get to know them. So don't be afraid to get off the couch and get out there and meet people. Find where your couples are. Find where your wedding pros that are like-minded are, and together you will be able to continue to build a wonderful 2020, fill it up, and be booking 2021. So the next thing we want to talk about a little bit is your website. And before we go changing all the photos and getting all the pretty Fabbo photos up there, let's do a maintenance. First of all, let's make sure all the links work. Number one, go through your website. And again, this is part of that. Let's take an hour or so of quiet time, headphones on, door locked, coffee shop. After we do the financial side of our house, let's take care of this back-end business side of our house. This is our calling card. For most of us, our website is our brick and mortar. This is the entrance to the door. This is where the people come knocking, so we can let them come in and we can invite them in to be of service to them. Social media is doing that as well. But for the most part, websites are still what people Google. And everybody, in case you didn't know this, Google is your friend. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But get your website. Make sure that all the links are working. Make sure that you have your contact information on every single page. Do not make it hard for couples to find you. That's the number one thing that a lot of our couples talked about. And you can hear about that in episode 29. I did what engaged couples want us to know. So click back to episode 29, and I took some questions from engaged couples of what they wanted wedding vendors to know. So that's a good spot to kick back on in your podcast listening to. But make it easy for vendors to find you as well. And having that information on there, if you want that wedding planner you just had coffee with to call you, and she doesn't have her business card in front of you, and I know that our Instagrams are our business cards now, I'm all about that. But make it easy for them to find you if they're sitting with a couple and want to just copy a link and go over to send to their couple. So make that easy. And then let's talk about SEO. For those of you who don't follow Sara Dunn of Sara Does SEO, you can hear her in episode 12, and that is just the beginning of the things that she knows how to do. But getting your SEO in line on your website is key. I invite you to visit Sara Does SEO. And she has Launch and Learns. She has all kinds of tips, and she's a wonderful human being. And if you ever hear her speak or ever able to attend one of her conferences or where she's at, make sure you do that. But right now, episode 12, she's on the Be Fabbo Podcast sharing some SEO knowledge. So get that in place. Talks about keywords, talks about how to title things. Get that part in place. So now we have our contact information on our website. We make sure that our links are all working. Is our blog up to date? This is the time to just put some blogs up there that talk about, hey, did you say yes? Happy to help you. Get on your website. Again, that's going to help your SEO, letting engaged couples know you're ready to serve them. Do a quick. They don't have to be long. I mean, Sara tells you how many words you need to have on the blog to get it successful and be seen. But just take one photo of rings. Take something that you have and just talk about engagement season. This is the time, the next few weeks. Pop up a couple of your favorite weddings, or pop up a couple of your favorite proposal stories, or some of your engagement sessions that talk about 2020 weddings. This is the time to get those. You don't have to go crazy and bury yourself with getting blogs up, but at least set your website up to help you. Again, it is the door that people see first, and they either decide they want to come in and visit your services and talk more with you. So let's get the website working. They all going to look at the pretty photos, but they also read. This generation reads, and they do read. I know that goes against what some people say, but they look at the photos, but then they're looking at what the text is and about you. They want to know as much about you as we're trying to get to know about them. So update, freshen it. Make sure if you have about yous to change. If you have new puppy, add a new puppy. If you've had a baby, update and say, hey, now you're a new mom or a new dad. Keep that current for however personal you want to be, but update it. Make sure it's working, and make sure it says 20. Get ready to put 2020 on the bottom of your websites. But get that area spruced up. Now we can start adding some photos. And when you start adding some photos in here, I want you to think about the photos that you're putting across. We call those hero photos or those storytelling photos. What is it that you want to attract? Are you a detail photographer? Or are you more of a really overly posed photographer? Epic landscape shots, a lot of silhouettes, backlighting. If that's the type of photography you want to do, show that. If you're a florist that has over-the-top bouquets, make sure that's seen so that whatever you're showing matches the wording on your website. Put your best work out there right now. And right now, you can be putting a lot of spring and summer photos. Maybe your first 10 photos are what I call my hero photos. The one is the main one, but then the 9 that follow, I've always felt that 10 to 12 rule is where people look and scroll. And you want to make sure this looks good on mobile too, guys, not just on your desktop. But then as soon as you do something, take a look on mobile, because it's got to fit in that screen space. Couples want to just see everything in that screen space. They want to see where to click, how to contact you, and they want to see the photos without having to scroll on their mobile or iPad device. Fit in that screen. So get those photos in there right now that show what you're doing now. Show some of your strongest. Show how you've grown. When you step back and take a look, if there are photos on there, guys, that aren't a style or don't speak to your brand anymore, go ahead and delete those. I mean, you don't need to have 700 photos scrolling across. A, it's going to slow down your website, but B, people just aren't looking that long anymore. It's these first hero photos, first dozen photos that are really telling a little bit about who you are and how you see the world. And the products that you're producing, then they can read about your services. So now that you've got these photos picked out, go ahead and put across there some big detail photos. Don't forget 1 or 2 bridal photos. Don't forget to show a little bit about some of the wedding scenes. Don't forget to show everything that's in a wedding. Take these 12 photos and put the first 3 or 4 high impact photos, but then show the rest that you know how to do weddings. If you're a wedding photographer and you just have details up there, I'm not sure that you actually do people photos. If you just have people photos up there, I don't know you do details. And if one is stronger than the other in your storytelling style, then highlight those. If you're a wedding planner, make sure I see plenty of the room and decor. But if you're a planner designer, I want to see some of those intricate designs. I want to come through and go, my gosh, this is her vision. She has a lot of ideas. And don't forget, a couple of those 12 photos need to be something totally out of the box, totally avant-garde, something that grabs their attention. Don't forget to show yourself in some of these website photos. People want to see who you are. People want to see across a website you interacting with your couples. Don't forget to exist in these photos. Do not forget to be part of that. I mean, let's think about it, guys. People in general, but especially engaged couples, don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care about them and the experience and knowledge you can bring to their day. I mean, that kind of goes in life in general, every day, anywhere. You know, people want people to be kind, people want people to be genuine, people want people to be honest, and people invest in people. So we in the wedding industry and as wedding professionals, we're in the service business. We're in the love business. You know, we have products that we're selling, but for the most part, we're serving couples. We're in the service industry. So people need to see that you know what you're doing, and they need to know that you know what you're doing, but they need to know that you care about them and that that you want to invest in them as much as we want them to invest in us. So get those website photos out there that show where you are currently, how much you have grown, and where you want to be. Don't be afraid to put a photo out there that you might not be doing a lot of, or you might have just done a new style. If you're a photographer and you're going to dark and moody area, don't put one of those up there, you know, and just see the response that it gets. You know, I'm a photographer that is a true to life photographer. All my photos are geared towards my couple. If we have a bright sunny sky, we have a bright sunny sky. If it's a dark rainy day, it's a dark rainy day. I let the backdrop of the day, as the historian of the day, as I always say, I want it to reflect their day as it happened as much as I want it to reflect who they are. So, you know, cake bakers and cake artists, show some of your greatest, simplest cakes. But man, don't forget to show something that you did for a style shoot that is just over the top, so that when couples scroll through those first 12 photos, they get a good vibe of the variety of knowledge and talent that you have, and then they can read about your experiences and what all you bring. So check out Sara's SEO episode on episode 12. That's going to be a real good spot to go to. And also, why we're kind of doing this, we're talking about blogs a little bit. Don't forget that this also might be the time that you want to be sending some submissions in. Lots of times the magazines and the blogs are running 6 to a year out, but during this slower time getting ready for engagement season, don't forget to go check out Two Bright Lights. You can hear more from Megan of Two Bright Lights, episode 25, talking about the importance of submission. And again, sometimes these are just small little things that won't take that long, but don't be surprised that they start airing and being shown in January and February, where that's still some peak engagement season. So get some of those stories in now. And again, don't add to your plate in doing all this. Get your financial side, get your pricing in line, and get your website working. And then start adding some of the blog, adding some of the wedding submissions. Those things all falls in line. But get yourself set up first. Feel good about you. Know the number of weddings you want to take. Reward yourself with a raise. Get ready for 20 and 21, and then get your website working. Knock all the kinks out, and then be ready to just welcome the people that are coming in. So show what you want to book. Show and talk about the couples that are your quote ideal couples. Be where they are. Follow some different hashtags. Take some planners out to lunch. Take some florists out to lunch. Kind of get there, and again, get off the couch and just go meet some people and get all that things done. Now we're going to talk a little bit about your profiles that you have. Many of you are Perfect Wedding Guide people. You're part of that program. You might be part of the Bustled program. You might be part of the Knot program or Wedding Wire. Wherever you have an online profile, make sure that is up to date as well. Sometimes we give these people money and we just set it up, 4 or 5 years ago or 5 days ago, and we never come back and fill it out. We never complete it. We never finish it. Make sure your profile is working for you. Many of these programs you guys are paying a monthly fee to, if not a yearly fee. Make sure your money is working for you. These guys are offering you a platform. Perfect Wedding Guide wants to connect, engage couples with your business. So they provide you with a website and they provide you with a profile page. Make sure you have it up to date. Slap that photo of yourself on there. Make sure your profile and your address and your phone number and contact, everything that you're doing on your website up to date. Make sure that your online profiles, no matter what program you're part of, and there's many, but Perfect Wedding Guide and the Knot and Wedding Wire are the three big ones, and they're out there meeting a lot of people. They're doing a lot of leads. They're out there with a lot of couples that are punching in these Google searches. You want to make sure that those profiles are up to date. And when profiles are up to date, also be checking your photos. get off an old photo on there. Goes back to the branding. If it's a style that you set up 2 years ago and you never went back and touched that profile, or you never go back and look at it, and you may not go back and look at it because it's working for you, doesn't mean you stop updating it. Let it work harder for you. Again, it's to work smarter, not harder. You're paying these programs and these online communities to represent you to the best of your ability. So do your due diligence and give them the information so that they can work for you. So update those photos there. Make sure your phone number and everything is connect. And every once in a while, click on your own profile to see it's going to the right page, to see that it's following through. And then if you have an issue, get a hold of those people so you can get those rectified. But don't be doing this in the middle of December when a lot of them are not available, and then you're missing the booking season. So you want to make sure that you're getting those things done. The other things that you want to do is really try to get your reviews in line. Just take a few minutes, email your current couples and say, hey, do you mind sending a review? Sending reviews are fairly easy for us. We simply just send them out and say, hey, you've had a great experience with us. We're a small business. We like to be able to help other couples have an experience like you had with us. Please do us a review. And do not forget to add Google reviews on here, people. I can't tell you again, Google is your friend. This generation is all about reviews. The Z generation coming up is, I read a review and I see what the experience is like. I've said it on some other podcasts, and when I'm out speaking, I comment on it quite a bit. But this generation, the Z generation, is all about the experience they can bring to their friends and their family. And they will invest in your experience to bring them that experience. This generation is one that wants to invest in people that really care about them, but about the experience they're going to offer everybody else. They want to have a nice weekend. I'm finding more and more of my late 2020 and the calls that we get for 2021 are about, hey, we're booking a wedding weekend. We're doing an opening celebration. We're doing a welcome party. We're having the wedding on Saturday. Then we're having brunch and fun, karaoke, and everything on Sunday. Smaller guest counts, under 100, but keeping everybody together, and I love them. It's 3 days, but it's fun. You really get to be part of their families, and you're really engulfed in the love and the friendships and support that they have as a family member. So make sure that you're showcasing that, and make sure that your reviews are out there so that this generation can read about why others hired you. Make sure this generation and future couples can read about the experiences that others had when they invested in you. Show your value and your experience by showcasing what others have to say about you. It's okay to pat yourself on the back. I know it's hard to ask for a review, but man, you've done the work. You've worked your butt off for that couple. They paid you. That was your job. Now they want to reward you with a review. And most of the times, if you just ask, they're happy to do so. But make sure your reviews are also going to Google. Because when you Google I want to be able to see a few reviews. If I have 6 or 7 reviews on Google, I might have 100. And that's my case. I have a handful on Google, but I have 100 or so in these other platforms. Because I'm not always strong on the Google side. But so make sure, this is your time to make sure your Google's up to date. We just did an update on ours. Got to make sure that people can find you. That's the key. And Google right now, we all know, it's, thank heaven there's a device that we can find anything we want on just by picking up the phone or the laptop. And we can find things out. So make it easy for people to find you. Find your local communities. If they're, like we have the Savannah Wedding Vendors here. We have the Golden Isles Wedding Association here. Monthly meetings. Go and meet your fellow people. Goes back to getting off the couch and showing up. But don't be afraid to let others know who you are and the talents that you have, and that together on the wedding day team, you guys will be Fabbo, and you'll be able to gather reviews. Imagine if all the couples are so happy and excited that they're going to write reviews for everybody, and then it's a win-win for everybody. So this is the time to get those reviews. And again, don't forget, like Savannah Wedding Vendors, don't forget you need reviews there. Don't forget you need reviews on Google. Don't forget if you're a business, you might need Yelp. Depending on the venue, if you're a caterer, you're going to want to have different reviews coming in different ways that are going to benefit you. But the simple way is go ahead and just ask and get those reviews. So those are some of the big tips that I really want you to take. I want you to sit back, and I want you to be able to grab these 40% of proposals. 40% of proposals happen between November, Turkey Day, to Valentine's Day. So let's together set each other up to be successful in finding those clients that we can serve. Figure out what you're worth. Give yourself a raise. Schedule your time off. Take a hard look at your schedule. How many weddings do you want to book? And then, man, it's gravy if you book a few more. Try not to burn yourself out. We all know that the peak seasons of spring, and we all know the peak season of fall. Set yourself up so that this time next year, you're running your business and it's not running you. Those are goals that I can tell you that after almost 40 years now, I work really hard to do. And I don't feel that I'm inundated at this time of the year. The other thing that you might want to consider too, and we can kind of talk about that, is in episode 26, it's all about virtual assistants. So as you sit back and you take a look at your pricing and you take a look at your website and you sit back and you think, man, I'm just not really good at this. Listen to episode 26. Ava and the Bee are talking about the things that you can outsource. Find maybe a spot in that area that you're not good at blogging. Then maybe you find somebody for a short amount of time to do some blogging for you. Maybe it's somebody that can gather reviews from you. Maybe it's somebody that can just run Pinterest for you. We haven't even talked about that area. But that might be something that while you sit down now and evaluate 2020 and 2021, maybe you earned enough money that you can hire this person. And if not, get your rates raised, get your fees raised so that you can reward yourself and be of service in the areas that best serve your couples. Do what you do best, outsource what you cannot do, but that still helps your business grow. And in doing so, you might have to raise your prices to cover the cost of doing business. But take a look at your website. Do the same thing with your social media, guys. Update your Instagram profile. If you need to tell the people that you're booking 2021, say I'm booking 2021. Start showing those photos on your feed that talk about engaged couples, that talk about your booking. If you're running a booking special, if you're a venue and you have booked by the end of the year to save X amount of dollars, start using social media to make that happen. And don't forget to ask others to share. If I want to work in venues and with other people, I'm tagging them in social media. I want to help talk about their businesses. I want to help their businesses grow. I want to let them know that I support them and that I want to be part of the wedding day team with them. So you get your website in line. And you can do this on your website too by talking about other venues. If you don't have something to say, maybe do a profile of a vendor that you love. Talk about a venue that you want to work at. Talk about how great the food is at this catering company. Or talk about how wonderful last weekend the hair and makeup person was. Those are simple things that you can grab a photo from them. You can get the bio and information from their own websites or social media, but then you add the words and the descriptions of your experience with them, which goes hugely to helping other couples know that that's also a trusted vendor and that you work together great as a wedding day team. So get your finances in line. Figure out what you want to do for 20 and 21. Get your websites up to date. Make sure they're current. Show what you want to show. Show on your social media that you're ready to accept couples. And again, get photos out there that are eye-catching but also meaningful, and share how you want to be of service in this industry. Get off the couch. Go meet some vendors. Share in some holiday activities. Get to meet people during the slower time of January. And do not forget for the rest of 2020 and 2021 to book on your schedule time off for yourself. We book our couples. Don't forget to book yourself. I wish everybody a great proposal season. I'm here if you need me. Tina's going to have a lot of notes in the show notes, a lot of connections and a lot of link backs. But I'm here. Drop me an email. Text me. All the information is on the Be Fabbo Podcast. So moving in 2020, please let me know some of the topics you want to hear about. I've got a good list going already, but some of the people that you like to hear from, whose stories do you want to hear? Who do you want to share experiences with? 2020 is going to bring a lot of exciting things. We're really going to focus on local Georgia wedding pros, coastal Georgia wedding pros. We're going to focus on low country wedding pros. We're going to take Be Fabbo Podcast and really hone in on the talents that we have in our market, and I want to share all these stories with you. So if you know somebody you would like to hear from, or that would be a great guest or a topic, just drop me a line at bobbybrinkman@gmail.com. Also, if you're out there having a small gathering or a small group, I love to bring my roundtables. I love to moderate. We've really been doing these a lot this year, and the feedback has been great, where we can all just sit around a table and we help each other grow and we support each other. We vent a little bit, but we walk away with literally a list of things that we can accomplish. I'm not going to be sharing zero stories of myself with you, but I just want you to know that, I'm here. I've had the trials and tribulations. I have fallen down a number of times, and it is about how you get back up. Lots of times I've fallen have not been due to anything I've done myself. I may have chosen the wrong people to go into business with, or I had the wrong people on my team, and had to learn from that. But in every lesson that comes, it comes for the moment that we need it right now, and it needs to be learned in the season that we're in. So we're here for you as a Be Fabbo Podcast, and I want you guys all to have an amazing 2020 season, and I want you to rock it out in 2021. I know that you're Fabbo. I want you guys to believe that you're Fabbo. So let's work together and help each other grow and succeed and have a wonderful 2020 and 2021 booking season. So do these tips. Hope you find them helpful and insightful. They're simple to do. They take a little bit of time, and you got to research yourself, and you got to really dive in to some things that you want to know. But I'm hoping these tips will help you have a wonderful proposal booking season. And I look forward to many more conversations with many of you coming up in 2020. But we're going to wrap up the year with some tidbits and some tips and a few interviews. And I thank you all for being here with me this year. It's been such a ball in 2019 to be in your ears and your cars and your ear pods. And I love all the reviews, and I love all the comments. So keep sending those reviews in. Keep listening. Thank you so much. From the bottom of our heart, we wish you a wonderful booking season. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Till then, have Fabbo wedding weekends. Thanks for being Fabbo. Hey, one more thing before we go, guys. If you are listening in and you're in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, if you're an engaged couple in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, or you're having a destination wedding in that area, I invite you to go out to the Hilton Charlotte University Place this Sunday, November 17th from noon to 4, and visit my good friends over at the Perfect Wedding Guide for the ultimate wedding planning experience. These guys are wonderful show producers. You're going to meet some Fabbo local wedding pros. They are open to all. All couples are welcomed. Go out there, check some wedding planning off your list, assemble your wedding day team. Go out, meet some local professionals. Perfect Wedding Guide, the ultimate wedding planning experience, Sunday, November 17th, noon to 4, Hilton Charlotte University Place. Visit perfectweddingguide.com for tickets and information on this show. Everybody have a Fabbo wedding planning weekend, and head out to the show. Once again, listeners, this episode has been brought to you by the Fabbo folks at Perfect Wedding Guide, connecting engaged couples to your wedding business. If you'd like to become part of the Perfect Wedding Guide online directory, be part of their wedding shows, and also get education at local chapters near you, go to the website, perfectweddingguide.com, pwg.com, and follow along on Instagram at perfectweddingguide.com. We'd love to have you part of the program, online directing, where engaged couples can come and find your wedding businesses. Lots of educational opportunities, lots of wonderful wedding shows, always able and willing to promote your business. That's what Perfect Wedding Guide is about. We thank them for being a sponsor of this episode and encourage all of you to visit perfectweddingguide.com.
Thanks for joining us. We hope these conversations will take you into your wedding weekend with a little more confidence, proud of what you do, and how you serve your clients. Maybe you even picked up a business tip or two. Till next time, be Fabbo.